Blessing had only one dream, to marry a good man who would love her and give her peace. She didn't care about riches, cars, or big houses. She wanted love, respect, and happiness. When she met Michael, everything seemed perfect. He was kind, gentle, hardworking, and full of patience. He listened when she spoke, and he never raised his voice. After just 6 months of courtship, they got married in a small church ceremony with a few family members present. But from the first week after the wedding, Blessing noticed something strange. Michael's mother, Mama Grace, didn't smile much. She greeted her coldly, watched her like a hawk, and always looked disappointed. She would walk into the kitchen, shake her head, and say, "In our time, women cooked with speed. Not like these modern lazy girls." Blessing smiled and ignored it. She believed Mama Grace would grow to love her. She was wrong. At first, it started small. Mama Grace would complain that the stew was too salty, though Michael said it was perfect. She'd say the clothes weren't rinsed well, even though they were washed twice. She'd tell neighbors, "Michael married a doll. She's only good for dressing up and nothing else." But what hurt most was what she said behind closed doors. One afternoon, Blessing walked into the kitchen and overheard Mama Grace on the phone. "She hasn't taken in. I told Michael. Maybe she's barren. God forbid that I won't carry my grandchildren." Blessing quietly returned to her room, heart aching. When she told Michael what she heard, he took her hand and said, "Don't mind her, Blessing. I married you, not her. Whether we have children or not, I love you." That comforted her heart. From then on, Michael defended her whenever his mother complained. "Mama, stop saying those things," he said. "Blessing is a good wife. I'm happy with her." But Mama Grace didn't stop. In fact, she got worse. She would criticize everything Blessing did, especially in public. "Don't bend like that when sweeping. That's why your womb is locked." Blessing stayed quiet. She didn't want to cause a scene. But inside her, a quiet fire began to grow. One Sunday, after church, some women visited their house. Mama Grace served food and began chatting with them. "She's been here over a year now," she said loudly, pointing at Blessing. "No child, no sign, nothing. We don't even know if she's a real woman." Everyone laughed. Except Michael. And except Blessing. Michael stood up and walked out in anger. Blessing excused herself and went to the bathroom. She cried. She cried for the child she hadn't yet conceived. She cried for the shame. She cried because she had been nothing but respectful. She stayed there for 30 minutes, crying into a towel. When she came out, she made a quiet decision. Blessing didn't raise her voice. She didn't shout. She didn't insult. But she decided to fight back, in a gentle, clever way. From that day, she became extra nice. She started waking Mama Grace earlier than usual, with loud greetings and oversweet smiles. "Good morning, Mama. Did you sleep well? Let me warm water for you." She began cooking the food exactly how Mama Grace liked it, but added too much pepper. Mama Grace would sweat, cough, and drink water every time, but Blessing would pretend to be shocked. "Oh, I followed your instructions, Mama. Maybe your taste has changed." She washed Mama Grace's clothes, but sometimes soaked the wrong fabrics and let the sun fade her wrappers. She'd say, "Oh Mama, it must be the weather. Or maybe the soap is too strong." Mama Grace began to complain more. "She's playing with my things. She's trying to trick me. She's too perfect now, it's not normal." Michael shook his head and said, "Mama, you keep complaining about her, but I only see her doing her best. Are you sure you're not imagining things?" Blessing smiled quietly. She continued to treat Mama Grace with sugar-coated service, but cleverly messed up little things to irritate her in sweet ways. She overwatered Mama Grace's favorite flower. It died. She mistakenly added salt instead of sugar to her tea. She swapped her favorite soap with black charcoal soap and apologized later. Each time, she would say sorry so gently that Mama Grace had no excuse to shout. Michael continued to say, "She's trying, Mama. You need to stop being so hard on her." One morning, after another accidental mistake, Mama Grace burst into tears. "I want to go back to the village. This girl is killing me with kindness." Michael looked at Blessing. She just stared at the floor, pretending to be sad. "Go if you must, Mama," he said. "But don't say I didn't warn you. You keep pushing away someone who has only tried to love you." Mama Grace packed her bag and left that evening. With peace finally in the house, Blessing and Michael continued living happily. They laughed more, danced in the kitchen, and went out for walks. They stopped worrying about children and simply enjoyed each other's company. Then, one day, Blessing felt dizzy. Then tired. Then she missed her period. The test showed 2 pink lines. Michael cried. Blessing cried. They held each other for hours. When Mama Grace heard the news, she returned, acting sweet and loving. But Blessing remained careful. She still smiled, still cooked, but this time with real peace inside. After the test confirmed her pregnancy, Blessing began to see life differently. Michael became even more caring, bringing her fruits, helping her bathe her feet after work, and refusing to let her lift heavy things. "I want my queen and my baby safe," he would say with a warm smile. But Mama Grace returned with a different tone. She brought herbs, local soups, and old village tips. "This is how I carried Michael for 9 months, she said, almost proudly. Blessing accepted everything, smiling as usual. But inside, she remained cautious. She hadn't forgotten the pain or the years of torment. Mama Grace began acting too sweet. She would sing gospel songs loudly in the mornings, help Blessing clean the kitchen, and even massage her feet. But one afternoon, Blessing overheard her on the phone again. "She's pregnant now, but I'm watching her. If she misbehaves, I'll still chase her out. Michael is just a mumu in love." Instead of getting angry, Blessing made another decision: she would protect her home completely. She began writing a private journal. Every insult, every strange moment, every suspicious comment Mama Grace made. She took pictures of certain things, like when Mama Grace mixed bitter herbs without telling her what was inside. She saved voice recordings when she could. But she kept smiling. Michael had no idea what was going on. He was focused on the baby, and planning a naming ceremony even before the child was born. One evening, Mama Grace offered to cook her famous goat meat pepper soup. She told Blessing to rest. Blessing noticed something odd when she walked into the kitchen. A dark brown powder Mama Grace had brought from the village was added to the soup. But the label on the sachet had no name. "What's this, Mama?" Blessing asked softly. Mama Grace smiled. "It's good for the baby. It makes them strong and smart. I used it for Michael too." Blessing nodded but didn't eat the soup. Later that night, while Mama Grace slept, Blessing quietly brought out her phone and Googled the powder. It turned out to be a strong fertility booster meant for men and dangerous for pregnant women. The next morning, she showed the search result to Michael. Michael was shocked. He sat quietly for a long time, then called his mother. "Mama, why did you add something like that to her food? Do you want to harm her and the baby?" Mama Grace replied, "I was only helping. You both don't know anything. I've had children. I know how to protect them." Michael stood up and said quietly, "You almost harmed the woman I love, and my unborn child. Mama, you have to go." Mama Grace began shouting and weeping. She's turning you against me. But this time, Michael didn't budge. He packed her things and called his uncle to come take her back to the village. Before she left, she turned to Blessing and said, "You win. But remember, I'm still his mother." Blessing only smiled and said, "And I will always respect you for that, Mama." Months passed. Blessing had a peaceful pregnancy. On a cool Friday morning, she gave birth to a baby girl. Michael cried like a baby, holding his wife and daughter in his arms. They named her Miracle Joy. She was strong, healthy, and beautiful, just like her mother. Mama Grace called, wanting to return and see the baby. Michael told her, "You can come, but only if you come in peace." This time, she did. She apologized quietly to Blessing, even if it wasn't full or loud. It was something. Blessing accepted it with grace, but set firm boundaries. She never forgot. Blessing became a new woman. Confident. Calm. Focused. She opened a small baby boutique with Michael's help and started making money from home. Customers loved her kindness and honesty. People often asked her, "How did you win over a difficult mother-in-law?" She would smile and say, "I didn't fight. I just let peace fight for me." Moral lesson. Peace is not weakness, it is wisdom in action. You can win the hardest battles with silence, patience, and strategy.